Hello everyone. So we are studying our second chapter, that is 5-year plan in India, goal and achievement. I have already uploaded 4 videos of this chapter. In first video we have discussed that what is the meaning of 5-year plan, why India need 5-year plan, and who made 5-year plans in our country. In second video we have discussed that the meaning of economic planning, need for planning in India, and types of various economics. In third video we have discussed the long period goals of 5-year plan, and in fourth video we have discussed short period goals of 5-year plan. In this video I am explaining an important topic, that is features of economic policy till 1991. It is an important topic for our exam, that is features of economic policy till 1991. And here is our next topic. Yes, features of economic policy 1991. To understand this topic, first we have to know that year 1991 was an important year for Indian economy. Okay, in 1991 our government adopted new economic policy, that is LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. Before 1991 the economic policy of India was different, but at 1991 we have adopted a new policy, that is LPG policy, liberalization, privatization and globalization. So 1991 was an important year for economic planning of our country. Before 1991 the economic policy was different, and after 1991 the economic policy was different. So to understand this topic, first we have to keep this thing in our mind, that we are studying features of economic policy till 1991. These are the policy of our country before 1991. So the first feature of economic policy 1991 is heavy reliance on public sector. Public sector means government company. The term reliance means believe. So before 1991 our government heavily believe on public sector or government sector. In industrial policy resolution 1956 there were 17 industry, it is 17 not 170, okay, there were 17 industry reserved for public sector and only 12 industry reserved for private sector. It shows that before 1991 our economy heavily depends on public sector, means only 12 industries are reserved for private sector and 17 industries are reserved for public sector or government sector. It is mentioned in industrial policy resolution 1956. Okay, what is this? This is, remember, this is IPR 1956. Industrial policy resolution 1956 is a type of law. It is a type of law which is made by our government to protect the industries of our economy. So government make various rules and regulations in IPR 1956, industrial policy resolution 1956. That's why there is a law in our country, that is industrial policy resolution 1956. So according to IPR 1956 you have to remember that only 12 industries reserved for private sector and 17 industries reserved for public sector or government company, because at that time our government heavily relies or believe on public sector. Government believe that if we want to develop our economy we have to develop public sector or government company in our country. Okay, second point is regulated development of private sector. Okay, when the point regulated comes here, we have to know the term regulated means there are lots of rules and regulations. Okay, the term regulated means there are lots of rules and regulations. So regulated development of private sector means for private sector there are lots of rules and regulations. It said that it means the private companies must get license before start any business. Without registration and license, a private company could not commence business. For example, if you want to start a business, for example, if you want to start a business of a pen manufacturing company, if you want to start a pen manufacturing company, if you want to start this business before 1991, you have to get license from government. But at present or after 1991, we can start our own business without any government licensing. So before 1991, there were regulated development of private sector. If you want to start business or commence business as a private owner, you have to get license from government. The third point is protection of SSI and regulation of LSI. Protection of SSI and regulation of LSI. First we have to know that what is SSI and what is LSI. SSI is small scale industries and LSI is large scale industries. Then what is the difference between SSI and LSI? When we talk about SSI, small scale industries, these are the industries which subscribed capital is less than 1 crore rupees. Okay, SSI, small scale industries, are those industries with subscribed capital is less than 1 crore rupees, and large scale industry LSI are those industries with subscribed capital is greater than 5 crore rupees. Okay, small scale industries are those industries with subscribed capital is less than 1 crore rupees, and large scale industries are those industries with subscribed capital is greater than 5 crore rupees. Between this there are medium scale industries also. So before 1991, our government adopted a policy that they protect small scale industry and regulate means make lots of rules and regulations for large scale industries. Large scale industries were regulated through MRTP Act. MRTP Act is Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. ठीक है, मीन्स इफ एनी वन वॉन्ट्स टू एस्टेब्लिश अ लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्री, इट इज़ अंडर द गाइडेंस या अंडर द रेगुलेशन ऑफ MRTP एक्ट. मीन्स एवरी लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्री मस्ट वर्क अकॉर्डिंग टू MRTP एक्ट. On the other hand, small scale industries was offered protection. Various financial institutions were also developed to promote SSI, small scale industry. It said that for large scale industry, government make various rules and regulations. Government made a MRTP Act, Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices. But for small scale industries, government provide various financial assistance or financial help to develop small scale industry. Financial institution means various banks, various credit cooperative societies, etc. They provide easy loan to small scale industry for its development, and for large scale industries government make various rules and regulations. Okay, fourth point, development of heavy industries of strategic significance. Government also made a policy that government wants to develop heavy industries which are of strategic significance. The strategic significance industries are those industries which is helpful to develop the economy of our country. So the heavy industries of strategic significance are electric generation, power generation companies, engineering goods which made various machines, and iron and steel industries. Okay, you must remember that how many industries are called strategic significance industries. So there are three types of industries which are called as strategic significance industry. First, electric generation industry, engineering goods industry, iron and steel industry. So government At that time government made effort to develop heavy industries of strategic significance only. ठीक है, these were developed on priority basis. Fourth point is, yes, our fifth point is focus on fifth point is focus on saving and investment. Means before 1991 government also wants to increase saving and investment in our economy. For that high interest rate were offered to promote saving, and to increase investment they provide subsidies and capital grants. In simple language, government offered high interest rate to those persons who deposit their saving at banks. Government offered that please deposit your saving at bank. If you did so, we will provide you high interest rate. To increase investment government provides subsidy and capital grants. Capital grants means if you want to invest at any village area, government provide you land at concessional rate, so it is beneficial for you to invest at that place. So with the help of these policies government increase saving and investment in our economy. Sixth point is protection from foreign competition. Domestic industries were protected through high import duty and quantitative restrictions. High import duty means government said that if you import from any foreign country, you have to pay high tax to us, so that the import can be restricted. And government also apply quantitative restriction. Quantitative restriction means government decide the limit of quantity, that you cannot import more than 200 units. You can import maximum 200 units, that is quantitative restrictions. So with the help of these policies government also protect our industry from foreign competition. How government did so? Government provide high government charge high import duty for import, and government also apply some quantitative restrictions. 7 point focus on import substitution. This topic is important for our exam, that is import substitution. Import substitution means the goods which you are importing from foreign country must produced in our country. The term import substitution means domestic production of goods which were imported from abroad. For example, if I am a pen manufacturer and I am import plastic from USA, then government suggest me that do not import plastic from USA, produce plastic in our own country. That is import substitution, substitute your import. So the term import substitution means domestic production of goods which were imported from abroad. It is useful to make India self sufficient, means be self sufficient in production. Eighth point is restriction on foreign capital. Before 1991 government also made lots of restrictions on foreign capital. In this, foreign direct investment was controlled and regulated through FERA. FERA is Foreign Exchange Regulatory Act. At present FERA is not working in our country. At present FEMA is working in our country, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act. But before 1991 FERA was working in our country. So how government restrict foreign capital? In this, foreign direct investment was controlled. What is the meaning of foreign direct investment? FDI. Foreign direct investment means any foreign company can directly invest in our country and start their business. So government control FDI through FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulatory Act. And the last point is centralized planning. Centralized planning means all the planning was done by our government. It means all the programs related to growth and development were aligned with central planning. Central planning means all the plans made by government. So these are 9 points which shows us the economic policy of our country before 1991, yeah, till 1991. The points are: first, till 1991, before 1991 or till 1991, our government heavy reliance on public sector. Second, there were regulated development of private sector, lots of rules and regulations for private sector. Third, protection of small scale industries and regulation of large scale industries. Fourth, development of heavy industries of strategic significance. Fifth, focus on saving and investment. Sixth, protection from foreign competition. Seventh, focus on import substitution. Eighth point, restriction on foreign capital. And 9 point is centralized planning. Thank you.